Hello, hello. Happy Sunday, all. In this year of the dragon, ascending moon, getting ready to plant some seeds. It's the time, that lunar pull. You've entered the pathway of light. As you see here, it's all about truth. At least in truth. What's truth? I would say it's our most honest attempt at depicting things as they are, not just as we want them to be. So let's get into it. What we're talking about today is Bitcoin. We're going to get into Bitcoin, the whole thing. And so buckle up. It's going to be it might be informative. Okay? So let's talk about Bitcoin. What is the purpose? Why am I even talking about it? Well, yeah, we don't have money anymore. Let's start there, right? We're not using money. So you see money, we have this history of money where money is a commodity, like gold or silver or wheat or cacao or something. Okay? And we got rug pulled, right? Because we don't have that anymore. We just have currency. And so the money is a tool for bartering, right? It's a tool for standardized bartering. So it's something. That's something for something, right? That's what everybody knows what bartering is. And money is just what we choose to have a standard. So it barters best, right? It gives us this standard for bartering, but it's something, right? On the other hand, currency is it's also a tool. It's a tool to distribute the money. Without money, there's no really need for currency. It doesn't make too much sense because money is what's real. Currency is a derivative that's easier to move. It's easier to transact with. So whether it's digital, whether it's paper bills, it's something that's easier to transact with than like shaving off gold or carrying around sacks of coffee beans, right? So currency is also this tool. And what happened, I think in 71, is we finally got off the gold standard altogether, and so pretty much everywhere in the world right now is running on currency. We don't use money. We're just moving around abstract numbers. And these abstract numbers just come from the Federal Reserve and those guys. And so they have their magical numbers that they don't really mean anything. So once again, there's no money behind it. They're just numbers. It's insane. And that's why we have an insane world right now, I would say. Because money, we function. Humans, we move around money. Like it organizes society. Money and data, right? And money is a type of data. And so we need to bring money back, right? And this is coming to you from a Chinese medicine doctor, somebody who I like to think about how nature works and then try to mimic it the best we can, okay? So we need money to be real so nobody is controlling it, right? That makes sense. That's why we've always used gold and silver and commodities that nobody can control, right? Even if it's eggs, nobody controls egg production, right? We can get access, anybody can get access to some chickens to grow some eggs, right? Or like it's possible. It's not something that's just controlled like this naked currency is, or fiat currency they call it. It's currency without money. And so that's a problem, and we need money. We need money to come back. We need money to be whole once again, to be something tangible. And now we enter Bitcoin. Boom, Bitcoin. It is probably not tangible to most people. because it's digital. And so it's like, well, it's not even real. In a way, it's true, but is this video real? Are your emails real? How about all the photos you have on your phone? I mean, it's real. I think we could agree that there's something there that's agreed upon. The thing with Bitcoin is it's been attacked because the true invention of Bitcoin essentially introduces a digital form of money that can also act as the currency, like a 2-in-1. It's money and currency. Holy cow. Pigs are flying. So, but yeah, that's true. And so if you're in Bitcoin, you probably haven't heard a lot of these things I'm going to say, unless you're in the know. You follow BSV people, because the BTC version of Bitcoin it's a script. It's a lot of lies mixed with truth. So it's a scam, and we can get into that maybe later. We'll see where this all goes. But the essence of Bitcoin is to have something that nobody controls it, meaning it's open and competitive, right? It works with the law. And so it's not outside of the law. It's actually very traceable. And so it's designed to be private and traceable. Just like notes, like dollar notes are. Like they have a serial number on it where you can theoretically use it to solve crime. It doesn't work. It's a bit difficult to follow it all. So Bitcoin does that very easily. So it creates this world of traceability, but it's not transparent. It's not transparent because it's not like saying like, oh, Jim sent Mike $50 for a haircut. Like, it's not Venmo. You don't see that. It's private. Only if authorities need to do an investigation for criminal activities, whether it's into our government or into private people's or businesses, it can be trusted. And so it actually stops crime, right? Without this like invasiveness. Let's move on to the use cases of it, because why do we need it? Well, because one reason is the way the internet works right now. The internet is just a mess. It's a complete mess, and it's because of the incentives. It's because of how it works. Because the internet is using the financial rails, the money. That's a completely different system, and so it's clunky and it's expensive. And so basically, payments under $1 aren't feasible with the internet. That's one thing. It's like payments are just expensive. So if you want to sell something that's very low cost, 50 cents a quarter, you can't do it. It's not cost effective because the transaction costs are so high. So that's one problem with the internet. Another is there's no native cash. And so the idea with cash is it gives us an element of freedom to transact privately. Right now, everything we do with Visa, PayPal, Venmo, you name it, Wise, Revolut, everything done in the digital landscape has to go through an intermediary. So we need to ask permission. We need to be let in. We need to be allowed to use it by the gatekeepers. And there's nothing wrong with the gatekeepers. I'm not saying that. It's just that when there's no option to do it yourself, those who control the show, corruption will always end up there, because it's like a honeypot, right? So Bitcoin also gives us digital cash, where my phone to your phone, right? My computer to your car, device to device, direct, no intermediary, digital cash. It's actually pretty huge, and it comes with the microtransactions, because the idea is it scales immensely, millions to billions of transactions per second. The real Bitcoin right now is testing 1.5 to 2 million transactions per second. That's very fast, and it's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And so, because you can do so much, and it's at a very low cost, like a fraction of a penny, right? What the fraction of a penny, 10,000th of a penny for a transaction. That's really good, and so that changes the way the internet works. The other side of that with the way the internet works is data, right? So money's really big. Data is also really big. It's the new oil, they say. But we don't have a way to commoditize data. We have data problems. We have information problems. And so let's think about why that is. It's because there's every company, every business, government, everybody has their own black box. And so they have their own servers that just take all this information, but they can manipulate it because it's controlled. It's privately controlled, and nobody from the outside can see. And so the data isn't very reliable because who knows what's going on in that black box that each one has. And then is it really what they say it is when they show it to you? Well, that's really hard to tell. And so that's a problem. Data reliability, and then also ownership. Ownership is, and that's, I think, when we could hit a lot of people closer to home, is because we can't own our own data in like a meaningful way. Like you go on to Instagram and you like something, you have your friends lists, you update your location. All of these are data points. Everything you do online is you're creating these data points, this information that through their terms of service they get. So they're spying on us while we use it. They're taking all of our data that we create. We're creators, right? We're not just users. The users are creators, right? And so some of us create better than others. And the point is, the way the model works now is our data is just taken and then sold to their advertisers. And so we don't really have the option to own our own friends lists and our own transactional history of everything that we create, because then in turn, then we have our data, and then we can actually sell it to advertisers. But it doesn't work right now because the data is unreliable and its transactions are so expensive. So it's really hard to just send data around, especially small data, because how much, if it's $1 a transaction, like sending my medical history on an app to a medical research company, right? That day's data might be worth $1 to them, but it costs $1. But if we have transactions that are 10,000th of a penny, right, and it can be verified like good data, because it's on a distributed network, meaning there's no black boxes, right? Because the information it's shared among various competitors, people who are maintaining the network, and so nobody can manipulate the data without everybody else knowing. So that's pretty cool as well. So yeah, it threatens the thing with the real Bitcoin, which, like I said, you're a rare breed if you've heard about it, but it threatens the whole system in a way, because it's this like currency, the currency of the Federal Reserve, this fiat currency. It threatens that whole system. Also, the Silicon Valley, like data pirates, like they don't want us owning our own data. And then the whole system also doesn't want reliable data either, because Clown World relies on the ability to manipulate data and just have this constant like moving goalpost of what's true instead of just being able to say, well, this happened, here it is. So yeah, I think that's all I can think of to say about Bitcoin for the time being, besides where we are now with it. Right now, it's in the creator of Bitcoin. His name is Dr. Craig Wright. He created it with the pseudonym Satoshi Nakamoto. he is in court in the UK, in high court, essentially wrestling around with this group called COPA, Crypto Open Patent Alliance, and they want to decry, say that he's not Satoshi. He can't have the intellectual property to Bitcoin. And at the same time, Dr. Wright is also suing a bunch of, he's suing the developers, he's suing some exchanges, essentially for stealing his invention, right? So it was open source, but open source is not public domain. It means you can't just take it and use the IP. You can't. There's database rights associated with Bitcoin. There's also just the name Bitcoin. That's also belongs to Satoshi Nakamoto. And then there's only one Bitcoin. And so these exchanges they're mostly, the public is being fed a lie about what Bitcoin is, right? It's not really a conspiracy. It's obvious. It's just a survival mechanism by the system that is threatened, right? It's pretty obvious. Like, if I was them, I'd be fighting it too. Because every day that we use this old system, this old technology, is the day that they get to keep their status as rulers, no matter how horrible it or they are. So yeah. It's just, so he's suing them. It's all being sorted out right now in court, and maybe you want to pay attention. You can even ask for a live link. You can even watch it, or you can just tune in on Twitter and follow some of the BSV people. BSV is just a ticker symbol, right? Like a stock ticker symbol, but it's the ticker symbol for Bitcoin. It used to be BTC, but then these developers they broke it. Essentially, they broke Bitcoin. They changed the rule set of it, and if you change the underlying rules of something, then it becomes something else, right? And these guys had no permission to do that. And you can't have hard money or commodity if people can just make changes to it when they want. Like, it's ridiculous. So if you're a BTCer, like, and you believe in this stuff, just like think about the obvious. Like, it's really not too complicated, right? Like, the whole purpose of returning to money is have money that nobody controls, right? It doesn't mean that it can't work with the law. It just means that nobody has the dominion over it. It's open in a competitive way. And that's what the real Bitcoin is, which just has the ticker symbol BSV. And so that's going on in court. There's a few weeks left of that. So yeah, maybe pay attention if you're interested. Have a look. There's so much to talk about, and I will probably make some videos, make some more educational stuff. But I'm sharing this because I think it's super important, because we need to use infrastructure that serves the interest of humanity and freedom. And so if at the very base layer of money and like data transactions, at the very base of it, it's essentially fake, and it's controlled by this like small group of people. It's not reliable, right? And it's not serving our best interests. And we have the power. It's a matter of realizing it. And this is what hope, like true hope, is about. Hope is just a belief that something that hasn't happened yet can happen. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, but I believe that we can have real money again. And in this digital age with the internet, we need digital cash, and we need small micropayments, and we need data that can be like reliable. Not because we take somebody's word for it, but because the system is designed to have reliable data. Yeah, that's what's up. So there's all these things being built. You can build anything you can build on a Android phone or the internet, any type of application, a Airbnb, a Twitter, a Facebook, a health app, a guitar tuner, whatever it is, it can all be done, created on Bitcoin. And then the services can be paid for in micropayments, small micropayments. You can pay a penny, you can pay a tenth of a penny to send an email and protect your privacy and own your data. And it's time we remember how reality works. There's always energetic exchange happening. And if it's free, that's a red flag. It's a very, very red flag, because that's communist talk where everything should be free for everyone. And the world, God's world, nature, doesn't work like that. It's a cycle of energetic flows of inputs and outputs. And let's pay attention to what's happening. Let's use things that work, not just in the short term, because you can use this currency to get a ticket to Florida. Don't know why. Florida's the place to be, I guess. But yeah, it works. But we have to open our mind, and there's much greater effects when we use something that's broken and diseased, and by nature leading towards centralization of power and control and deceitfulness and dark money and dark actions, things that aren't that's how the devil does his work in the shadows. So to the light, to the pathway of the light, may you all walk in it. I hope you've learned something. If anything's unclear, ask me, and I will do my best to give reasonable answers. All right. Peace out.